it's not socioeconomic. We have had people here that have sold their McMansions and have downsized to this and paid cash and never looked back. We have had people that have worked at Walmart. We've had folks that have worked at Walgreens living in our community. And all of them have lived together harmoniously because they're living a lifestyle, not we've got to do better than the person next door to us. It's given folks the opportunity to have flexibility in their lifestyle, in their living arrangement. It's given them opportunity to feel secure and safe in that and not worry about this huge mortgage payment that we got to make, every month. We got to maintain the yards, we got to do this and that.
I'm John, he's Jeff. We've been together 21 years. We've been living up here in Woodland Park in our tiny home for the last year. It'll be a year this week. Jeff grew up in Denver, so we're near enough to Denver, Colorado to make this work. This is a retirement option. The city of Denver's gotten really expensive, so we took this option as a nice retirement plan, and we're loving it. So this was originally an open porch, and the previous owner closed it in for a 4-season porch, and we use it as our dining room, which is great, and it's the first thing that came to mind when I saw this. One of the things we like best about our living room is the height to it. We do not have a loft. A lot of people have second-story lofts, which is nice if you need the additional space. We don't need the additional space, so we enjoy the additional height. We recently redid our kitchen. We kept the same footprint that the kitchen had, but we switched out to do hickory cabinets and granite countertops. Just an upgrade that we wanted. It's got a similar look to the front porch. We extended the bar area here and made for a nice seating option. So when we're doing breakfast or just lunches and things like that, we can sit here. We added a 36-inch side-by-side refrigerator. Now, sometimes you think, how's that gonna fit in a tiny home? And I actually wondered myself if it was gonna look huge. So we built this out to make it all enclosed, which made the refrigerator fit in really nicely, and it's probably a nicer finish than what was there before even. One of the things I really like is my additional bar. We even have a bar in here, and yes, it's full of liquor. Storage closet, not the biggest washer and dryer, but it is still a full-size washer and dryer. We've also redone some of the bathroom. There used to be a one-piece fiberglass shower here. This is actually a porcelain that looks kind of like a wood grain, but it's a porcelain, and we went with a stone floor. We thought that was a really neat look for being up here in the mountains. So we thought that came together pretty nicely. The bedroom is probably our smallest room of the whole place, but then everybody says, how big do you need your bedroom to be? Do you have a queen size bed? I've heard you can fit a king size bed, but that would be pretty tight. This was built in, the dresser, and we have a full-size double closet with upper and lower rods, so plenty of closet space. Off of our bedroom, another thing I like is our back porch, which is a great place for having coffee in the morning or an afternoon cocktail, or just coming out and sitting quiet and reading a book. These were plastics, and we have these replaced to be cedar as well. Again, I like that whole cedar look coming through. I like to bring the wood into it. And it used to be open here, and so we could have our dog out here with us and not worry about him getting out. We added a gate. So we closed in the porch, but still have the option for going in and out this direction. That's our tiny tour.
I started trying to work towards retirement when I was 22. I decided I wanted to retire early. And all I can say about that is if you can save any money, small amounts of money early and often, and for 20 years we've been minimalists, and we try to, keep well below our budget, and that's how you manage to build it up, because the faster you can get rid of your debt, the faster you can build things. So this is a new adventure for us, mostly because previously we've lived in cities. And we did a lot of thinking about moving, and we did a lot of looking And although we found one other park that we actually liked a lot more as far as the way it was laid out and the options, it ended up being 45 minutes away from any city. And the really neat thing about this park is that you get the best of both worlds. You can walk to things, there are actually things to do here. If you explore, go exploring. And we've really taken on the adventure that is moving here.
Hi, I'm Pete. I'm the owner of Peakview Park here in Woodland Park, Colorado. Peakview Park is a tiny home park model community that's been in existence since 2013. We have a combination of park model homes. We have tiny home on wheels from a variety of different manufacturers. And we also have some RVs in the park as well. So we're located at the north side of Pikes Peak in Woodland Park. It's a community surrounded by several national forest properties and state parkland. So we're a community of 79 spots, 9 of which are permanent homes and lodging. And then we've got 70 RV spots with full hookups. So behind me is one of our short-term rental properties built by Larkspur Buildings out of Colorado Springs. And this home is approximately 8 foot by 30 foot in length. So the home itself is part of an overall plan by Guillermo. He's an immigrant from Uruguay and got involved in tiny home building a few years ago. This is a home that's part of a theme as a Wild West town. So what we have here is the sheriff's home, and then one is the saloon, one is the bank, there's going to be a city hall, and I think Miss Kitty's place. So when it's all complete, there'll be 5 different homes in here that'll kind of follow that theme. Now that we've seen the outside of the house, let's take a look inside. So welcome to the Sheriff home. This home is about 240 square feet and actually was built with predominantly recycled material. The house itself is built to kind of meet a Old West, Wild West theme, and there are several different features in the house that exemplify that. Here in the front of the house is really a multi-purpose area with both living and sleeping area. There's double doors that lead out to a porch and a fire pit, and also a covered hot tub for the guests. So here in the center of the house, we have the day bed, and it converts into a queen bed. And, you know, from the standpoint of comfort, the bed is comfortable, but it's a little bit of an inconvenience because you have to fold it up and unfold it to use it. But in a small space, and those of you that have been in the tiny home world understand this, you know, how to use space effectively and efficiently. So, you know, one of the advantages of having the bed on the main floor, not having to go up in a loft, is that it accommodates a variety of different guests. And the barrel ceiling obviously adds to the spaciousness of the whole structure. And an interesting feature is if you want to make a phone call, you can do it the old-fashioned style. Yes, Ethel, give me BR 192. After I graduated from high school, I went into the Air Force and had the privilege and luxury of traveling for the next 36 years. I served with active duty and then also served with the Air Force Reserve. Had a very eclectic career. After I exited active duty Air Force, I worked for Lockheed Aircraft, worked as a city administrator, worked in construction, taught economics in the Czech Republic. Involved in real estate development now for the last almost 20 years. My business partner Matt and I acquired Peakview Park, and it was once called Coachlight, and it was infamously known for the Texas 7. We bought it in 2013, not really knowing what we were going to do with the property. As time went on, it morphed from being a rental property into being the first code-compliant tiny home community in the state of Colorado. Currently, our lot rents in Peakview Park run right around $700, and that's below the market. If you're renting a home here, and we do have homes that we rent, for a one-bedroom home, you're probably looking at $1,200 to $1,400. If it's an apartment, we have a nice apartment complex here in town, and I think they're probably in that $1,400 to $1,500 range. You got to balance this because there's the cost of the home and there's the cost of the lot rent, right? If you already own the home, and it's paid outright, then you don't have that monthly payment. There's also a TV, small refrigerator, washer and dryer, so you can wash your clothes while you're staying in the home, a stovetop, and all the different accoutrements that you need for cooking, from utensils, plates, and everything else in the cabinets. So one of the reasons why I think Guillermo decided to put a stackable washer and dryer in the unit is just convenience. We don't have a laundry facility on site, so if people are staying here for an extended stay, they wouldn't have to take their laundry uptown to deal with it. And it saves them a few bucks and not having to pay for a washer and dryer use somewhere else. I think one of the interesting things, and again, this is just kind of thematic, the barn door going into the bathroom. And the bathroom is modern. You don't have to go out to the outhouse. It's got a really nice walk-in shower, the old checkerboard pattern floor, and again, just the rough-hewn lumber that's been used throughout. But it's got modern-day flush toilet, sink, shower. I think the nice thing about this home compared to some other tiny homes is just the spaciousness of it. He's done a really good job with design. Now obviously it's not set for permanent occupancy, which creates a whole other set of issues with storage and things of that nature. So when you don't have that and you're doing strictly for short-term rental, you can use space more liberally than you could if you were actually living in the home on a continuous basis. And he's done that very well.
I'm Shannon Smith. We've been together for almost 3.5 years. And I think it was more my idea first. I wanted to do the RV.
So we started actually looking at travel trailers and fifth wheels. There's a Camping World in town, so we were going there, and our plan was just to try to find a place, buy it, and then have them deliver it, and then just set up shop and just live there 10 plus years, waiting on student loans and debt and everything to be paid off.
Jeff made a chart, different housing options, what the mortgage would be, utilities, and broke it down to see how we could live simply and retire quickly and save the most money.
The biggest thing is just what we're paying now. Once it's paid off, not just taking that money and then just like, oh, we got all this extra money and just spending it every month. It's more just taking that money and then still investing it off to the side, and then what that lump sum could be at the end of like a 15 and 30 year, and then compared to somebody else that wouldn't have that but they would own a house, because then you can have that argument. It's like, hey, your tiny house is paid off but you don't own any real estate, you don't have an investment, because some people use houses like a retirement income or something like that. I calculated just from a $150,000 home, and it was a heck of a lot better deal. And you can barely find those things, at least in where we're
not
living.
Here.
There's places across the country where you can snag 3-4 bedroom houses for 40 grand or something like that, but do you want to live there? We looked at it to where 30 years, depending on how investments went, anywhere from $4 to $500,000, set up cash, where you could still, even though somebody might have, say that $150,000 house is worth $400,000 at the end of that 30 years. If somebody has that house and they go, yeah, I got a $400,000 house, and you have nothing, like, well, I got this pile of cash though that I invested the whole time that you were paying towards your mortgage. I just invested it, and I could do this with it. I can just buy that house cash if I needed to, or live off the interest, travel,
My name is Mary Barrett, and this is my home where I live, me and my dog, and welcome to my home. This is my garden over here. I sit in the afternoons and swing in here with my dog and watch the sunset. This is the rest of my porch here. I do container gardening. I like to do that so I can move things around according to the sun and weather and protect them more. I love lots of flowers, and I love lights. I love dragonflies. So this is my little place to just sit, me and my dog, and just enjoy the evening. Come on in. This is my home. This is the living room. My favorite part of my home, I'd have to say, is my couch, my purple couch, And I love my bohemian rag curtains. I love them. This is my kitchen. I like this kitchen. It's called a gallery kitchen. The reason I like this kitchen is because I had all of the tops so I could put plants up here. And I love that, you know, you can stack them all over the place. This is my little hallway, pantryway. This has lots of cupboards. I love all that. And you go this way. The bedroom is back here. And they come over, this is my cute little washer and dryer. And then I have my little bathroom is over here. It's got a lot of room. I love everything because of all the crystal windows and everything. It's really nice because you get lots of light in, you get to see, so you never feel like you're enclosed. And everything just has its own little cute little place, and that's where it belongs, and that's it. You know, it's a secret, it's putting things back where they belong. After my husband passed away, I didn't think I'd find the joy again, and I found that here. And when I come home, my heart is happy, I'm joyful. It's like, oh, I live here, I'm home. All the neighbors here, it's great to live here. That's the other joy of living here is there's a bunch of women my age. We're all our, you know, middle-aged life and stuff. A lot of us retired. Some of us has lost our husbands, and some are divorced, and we all have pets, and it's like everybody has each other's backs. And it's safe, and it's beautiful, and you're up in the mountains, and it's even more better because you're right close to all of the stores. You're there like in 5 minutes, Safeways and Walgreens, and it's just perfect. It's just gorgeous living here. I love it.
Everyone's real sweet. I think we're the youngest. A lot of them are retired and just friendly, kind of look out for each other.
The neighbors are great. We go out probably a couple times a week. The first week we moved here, our neighbors knocked on our door.
The first night.
Was it the first night even?
First night.
Our neighbors knocked on our door and introduced themselves and said, we're having a bonfire down at the neighbors and everybody gets together, BYOB, we just sit around.
So we met everybody on this block, and then Pepper, of course, helps us walk around. That is actually how we have managed to be probably the most social in the park.
Yeah, that's how
because we walk him everywhere. We've met everybody, and actually some people, if they don't see us walking the dog, they wonder what's wrong.
So when we developed the community, we allowed people to bring their own homes in, and that continued even to this day. However, we have been at capacity since 2018, 2019. We have had very few vacancies, and during that time, the vacancies that we've had have been taken up very quickly. So where we see more movement is in the resale of homes. And so people who want to live here have bought existing tiny homes so that they could live in the community. And you know, that's just a supply and demand function, and this is the economist in me coming out. The homes that we sold 8 years ago for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 are now selling for $150,000. We had one home that sold for $225,000. And the reason for that is there's pent-up demand. People want to live here, they want to live in this community, and even the broader community of Woodland Park, and there just isn't the availability. And that's one of the reasons why we created the Village at Tamarack. The state legislature changed or brought about some legislation to allow for permanent residency on private land, in mobile home parks or manufactured home communities, and in RV parks. The problem with the legislation that they passed is that if there's 5 or more tiny home on wheels, not park models, if there's more than 5 in a community, then they reclassify the RV park as a manufactured home community. And that comes with a whole host of restrictions and problems for us as park owners. The other thing that they did when they passed this legislation is they raised the cost of putting a tiny home on wheels on a lot. The house has to be set by a licensed house setter. The house has to be connected by a licensed electrician. The house has to be connected by a licensed plumber. And so if you think about that, you have a tiny home on wheels, and it's like an RV. You take your sanitary sewer line and you put it into a sewage drop in an RV park. Well, people who own RVs know how to do that. They don't have to hire a licensed plumber to do that for them. They don't have to have a licensed electrician come out and plug in their electrical outlet into a pedestal. They've raised the cost of the home by $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in some cases unnecessarily. And so that's the issue I take, from the homeowner's perspective, that they shouldn't have to do that. It's unnecessary. All they had to do was remove the length of stay restrictions that were imposed by municipalities and counties, because that was what municipalities and counties were doing to make sure that people weren't living in their RVs year-round. And because a tiny home on wheels is classified as an RV, they were saying, well, you can't live in it year-round in this community. So people would have to pack up and move to a different community, and there was this whole recycling that was taking place. But that's all they had to do. Instead, they put this whole big burdensome legislation in place basically to fund the Division of Housing, and now the Division of Housing is the entity that's the oversight on the industry. So Rare Earth Development Investment is kind of the overarching entity for all of our different RV parks and developments. We actually have Peakview Park here in Woodland Park, and we also have a small home community that we're developing on the north end of town called the Village at Tamarack. And those are modular homes on permanent foundations. So currently we have 9 parks with varying degrees of development for the tiny home community. We do have vacancies in our other communities, and all of those will take tiny homes or park models.
Taking advantage of creating your own environment is really an excellent way to approach things. If you want something done or you want something in your park specifically, do it yourself. We're walking around, we pick up trash, we do all that stuff because we want our park to look nice. It is a community, and if you want your community to be great, be a part of making it great.
Thanks for stopping by Tiny House Expedition. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Christian, and this is our DIY tiny house on our homestead in Oregon.
Looking for more tiny inspiration? Watch these videos. But if you're looking for something specific, visit our channel homepage to browse tiny homes by category.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Hope to see you soon.